Dozens of local residents, including 10 employees from the Florida Department of Corrections, have been arrested in connection to a major drug ring. Joseph Battalion struck down the state's same-sex marriage ban, paving the way for gay couples to marry. But those couples won't be racing down to the courthouse anytime soon because that ruling doesn't go into effect until Monday. Police in Las Vegas are questioning a woman after investigators say she deliberately smashed her car repeatedly into a crowded sidewalk on the Las Vegas Strip. This is the issue from Judge Joseph Battalion. In it, he says that all couples have the right to marry regardless of gender. Dozens of Alachua County kids are left without mentors tonight after a local nonprofit closes its doors. This is where the Creighton Blue Jays call home, where Doug McDermott wowed the crowds. Well, this fall, Doug is coming home, but he won't be wowing the crowds here at CenturyLink. Imagine risking your life as a veteran and then having the VA mistakenly declare you dead, cutting off all of the benefits you earned. Up the highest crash rate of any age group. Cell phones and passengers, a big problem when it comes to teen crashes. A new study reveals just how big of a problem these are. The man charged with murdering 3 people at a Planned Parenthood in Colorado confessed in court today. Turning on your lights or even watching KMTV, the power to generate that comes from here, the Fort Calhoun nuclear power plant. KMTV was the first television station granted rare access inside this facility as they prepare to refuel this nuclear plant.
So there's 176 of those in one fuel assembly.
They are 12-foot tall zirconium alloy rods, and they make Omaha light up.
Inside those pins is 223 uranium pellets. Those pellets are what actually fission to make the power, to make the heat, which turns our turbine to make the electricity.
Every year and a half, OPPD shuts down Fort Calhoun to replace its nuclear fuel.
Right now, he's checking the bottom of the assembly and the feet. That's an inspection tool to make sure that the bottom of the assembly sits properly when it's inside of the core.
For the very first time, OPPD invited our cameras inside the plant to show us how it works in its most sensitive operations. Tim Bussey, a nuclear engineer at Fort Calhoun, showed us around.
We're looking for any defects or anything like that in the fuel so that when it goes into the core to operate for another year and a half, that it operates without any issues.
Each Wednesday, the plant receives a shipment of fuel assemblies. Nuclear engineers then unpack them for meticulous inspection.
What our job is to make sure that the manufacturers that we purchase the fuel from actually made the fuel correctly.
Each assembly weighs about 1,275 pounds. Inside each of those rods is uranium pellets, with each pellet producing about the same amount of electricity as 2,400 pounds of coal.
In my opinion, nuclear power is cleaner and safer than coal.
Fort Calhoun provides 1/3 of the electricity OPPD supplies to customers. Once the assemblies are inspected, they're placed in reinforced concrete structures and put into a giant-sized pool. In a few weeks, those rods will be put to work, providing power for years to come.
When we pull that rod out, now all the fission can occur, now all the power can happen.
Fort Calhoun will go offline 1 month from now for about 45 days while they refuel, something they do every year and a half.
The ruling itself means that the state of Nebraska has to allow same-sex couples to marry in Nebraska.
The right to marry, that's the ruling from Judge Joseph Battalion as he strikes down Nebraska's ban on same-sex marriage.
Judge Battalion stayed this order until next Monday, the 9th, to give the state a chance to adjust to the ruling, get procedures in place.
Michael Fenner is a professor of constitutional law at Creighton University. He says while this does appear to be a victory for same-sex couples, they won't be running down to the courthouse.
The practical effect is it gives them a week to take it to the 8th Circuit. It gives the state a week to take it to the 8th Circuit and try to get them to stay the ruling.
As promised, Attorney General Doug Peterson filed an appeal with the 8th Circuit Court of Appeals asking the court to issue a stay on the ruling.
The reason we are appealing is because the 8th Circuit has ruled once before that this constitutional amendment is constitutional and upholds the scrutiny of the constitutional analysis.
Attorney General Peterson and Governor Pete Ricketts told reporters this afternoon that while they know this is a difficult time for families, they are upholding the constitutional laws.
I will work with the Attorney General here to continue to uphold the Constitution and that we will continue to try to uphold the will of the people here of Nebraska.
Governor Ricketts says in 2000, 70% of Nebraskans voted to define a marriage as that of a man and a woman. He says the voters should change the definition, not a judge. He's one of the most famous Jays to come out of Omaha. He led the nation in scoring his senior year. Now, Chicago Bull Doug McDermott is coming home. Well, sort of.
That we've been talking with the Bulls for a long time, and even before, they did any of the recent drafts, which are kind of exciting.
McDermott nails a three.
This fall, McDermott will make his Nebraska NBA debut, but not on the hardwood. That made him famous.
It was a long-term conversation. They certainly saw the new building. They've seen the excitements generated here.
Instead, McDermott and the rest of the Chicago Bulls will invade the Pinnacle Bank Arena. The announcement came Tuesday that the team will play a preseason game against the Dallas Mavericks in Lincoln.
So that really we're close to both markets between Dallas and Chicago, that they'd like to see their footprint expand, and so it was a great opportunity for them to come in.
But why didn't that opportunity happen at the CenturyLink Center? Christy Anderson, the Metropolitan Entertainment and Convention Authority, who brings the acts to Omaha, says it could still happen. In a statement to KMTV, Anderson says, "We're still in conversations with the Chicago Bulls to hold future exhibition games at CenturyLink Center, Omaha. It's a battle of the hardwood between the two venues right now." In a few weeks, March Madness will come to Omaha for rounds 2 and 3.
Doesn't get it.
And high school basketball will tip off in Lincoln the first week in March. Pinnacle Bank Arena General Manager Tom Lorenz says right now, basketball in the state is hot.
The basketball world's kind of taking attention to us.
McDermott from downtown. And the rookie.
Tickets for that preseason game go on sale this Friday. We have information on how to purchase them on our website at kmtv.com. As for if a preseason game will come to Omaha, Anderson tells me that they have been in talks in the past and that they're hopeful in the future another one will be coming here. We're live tonight outside the CenturyLink Center. Josh Egbert, KMTV Action 3 News.